Okay, well, MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course.
Mhm.
So if a professor puts together some courseware, some videos or PowerPoints, he basically opens up all that learning material to students from across the globe, and then students actually have access to all that material. So that's basically what a MOOC course is. It's someone, a professor, putting his or her course online and making it available to a large number of people across the globe. That's essentially what a MOOC course is. I don't think MOOC courses are new because professors have always been putting videos and PowerPoints available online, etc. I think the term MOOC kind of came about in the last few years just to try and synthesize and organize all that. But that's what I see as a MOOC course, is a very course where all the material is completely accessible online, anytime, anywhere.
Okay. Is it necessary for a MOOC course to be free?
No. I mean, MOOC courses could be paid or it could be free.
Okay.
Uh, I think there is a very where people confuse online courses and MOOC courses, though, is a MOOC course is generally not facilitated by a professor. So if you're in a classroom and there are 10,000 other learners in that MOOC course, and they're studying different parts of the MOOC course at different times, etc. No single professor can actually have any oversight or control of the classroom or any input, because there are thousands of users, So I think that's where it differs from a traditional online course, because a MOOC course has advantages, but it also has disadvantages, and hence we see, given the data that has been published so far, actually the dropout rate for MOOC courses is extremely high.
Mm.
Students go in there with a high level of excitement, but then after a while it becomes boring and they lose interest and they drop out. So again, the purpose and the dynamics of a MOOC course are actually quite different from, say, the kind of courses we run at GlobalNxt University.
Okay. Now,
We do offer a MOOC course. We actually have built MOOC courses.
mhm.
I will give you a reference to one. We actually created a MOOC course called the Faculty Guide to Online Teaching. It's
Mhm.
actually available on the Udemy site, which is one of those popular MOOC uh, providers. We actually created this course
Mhm.
for other educators to learn about how to do online education, to share our best practices. And we did this as a MOOC course
Mhm.
because we wanted to push it out to as many other educators out there, and to actually give them an opportunity to learn from our own experience. So we do have a couple of MOOC courses, but by and large, our online classes, when we run our online classes for our degree programs, our MBA programs, they tend to be very small classes, maybe no more than 20 students in an online class. They're always facilitated by one of our professors, and the professor is always interacting with the students, helping them solve problems and understand the courseware. So the way we deliver our online courses is very small, very intimate, very interactive, completely different learning experience from what you find with a MOOC course. Okay, well, we got an exciting roadmap of programs. Being a fairly new university, right now we don't have too many programs on offer. What we have right now is an MBA program, and
Mhm.
that's probably well suited for people like yourself, working professionals with some years of work experience, very mobile, very busy at work, wants that flexibility. That's available to students everywhere. There's also something called a postgraduate diploma in business administration, which is almost like a subset of our MBA program. That's also on offer. We also have a Master of Science in IT Management, and that's really designed for IT professionals who are looking at a managerial path to their career rather than a technical career. They're looking for a management, project manager, IT manager career path. That's available. Those are the three main programs we have offer right now. This year, we're also rolling out a couple of more exciting programs. One is a doctorate in business administration, what we call a DBA, and that's for people who really want to do a bit more serious research in a particular area. We actually are going to be starting an undergraduate in a Bachelor's of Business Administration as well, a BBA. That's an undergraduate program that's also going to be delivered through the technology, through flexible learning methods. So largely on the business and IT side, that's the programs that we have. Towards 2015 and beyond that, we're going to have a few additional programs, Masters of Education, Masters of Communication Studies, Masters of Multimedia. There'll be a few more programs rolling out, but that's kind of where we're starting from. The other thing I just wanted to mention as well is that as well as these what we call degree programs, we're also starting to offer programs in the executive learning space. So these are shorter duration programs with a very specific focus in mind. And actually, I'll just tell you about one that we recently started, which is actually the very first batch of the Women's Leadership Program. Now, this is only for women, so unfortunately, you can't kind of you can't sign on. But it's specifically for women in the workforce who really want to try and leverage themselves and take senior positions in industry. As you know, if you go out to the industry, women tend to hit a glass ceiling. So this is actually one of the diversity programs we've launched. It's taught exclusively by female professors for female participants only. So that's actually just one example of the executive programs that we're rolling out over the next few years. So we're trying to do different things and offer different programs for different niches. We're not trying to offer the same style of program everywhere. We're trying to put a new twist, a new angle of it. But at the end of the day, we want people to actually have the right tools to develop themselves and to actually maximize their learning on the program. Okay, GlobalNxt University is a fairly new university. We were set up formally as a university in Malaysia late last year. We actually have a bit of a history. We actually started off in 2002 as an institution known as U21 Global. And the whole idea about U21 Global was to really raise the bar in terms of global technology-enabled learning. How we started in 2002 is fairly interesting. What happened was there's a group of universities, traditional brick and mortar universities, known as U21, and that includes a number of well-known universities across the globe. And they actually looked into the crystal ball, if you like, of education and thought about what would be the future of education, what is happening on the educational landscape. And they realized that global technology-enabled education was really going to be the way forward. So that they started U21 Global with that intention. So we were initially based in Singapore, and we rolled out a very successful MBA program that was delivered entirely online by a team of very dedicated PhD qualified faculty, very high standards, very rigorous learning, and it was really a fantastic program. What happened actually was that as we developed and as we grew, Malaysia, the Malaysian government actually took a lot of interest in terms of what we were doing in terms of learning innovation, and they actually invited us to become a full-fledged university with our academic headquarters here in Kuala Lumpur last year. Sorry, the year before. I keep forgetting it's 2014. So actually we've had a fairly short history as an institution, but it's always been at the forefront of education. It's always been at the forefront of innovation. And I think given how quickly technology changes these days, it's a very exciting period for us. So in a nutshell, that's our history, if you like. We are really a new, dynamic university, strong focus on rigorous global education, very strong focus on flexible learning, and we do that using the technology. And we actually have a growing global base of students. So students for us can reside anywhere around the world. Could be Singapore, could be Malaysia, could be the US, could be India, could be Dubai, China, anywhere where anyone has access to the internet, they can potentially become a student of ours. So that's kind of who we are in a nutshell. In terms of why a student should join us, well, number one, if a student is looking for a very flexible form of education, perhaps they're working professionals and they need that flexibility in their learning. That's one good reason to consider us. Number two is that our curriculum and our faculty are completely global. They're completely international. So if a student wants to have a more global experience, rather than go into a local university, if they want a slightly more broader experience, a more globalized experience, then again, we're a good choice for that. Reason number three is that we realize a lot of students work, and a lot of the students that we have are actually working professionals who do a lot of traveling. And it actually becomes very difficult for them to actually come to campus to study. So if they're constantly traveling or the schedules are very busy, then again that's another reason why they might want to consider us. Another positive reason is that we have a global faculty. I think close to 100 professors now who are working for us, who are experts in their area, generally PhD qualified, very committed to delivering high quality learning. That's another reason to join us. The technology that we provide, the learning platform, the content, it's all leading edge technology. I'm actually very glad that you're doing this interview on Google, the Hangouts, because this is kind of consistent with what we kind of use in our pedagogy. So again, if you're looking for leading edge technology, that's another good reason. And I think the final reason is that I think a lot of students are used to going to a traditional university. They're used to kind of going to your traditional programs. They're used to going to those, the same model of learning. And I think that in this kind of world, if you want to stand out a bit more these days, if you want to differentiate yourself, then that's another good reason to actually consider being a student at GlobalNxt University, because you can tell to employers or people that you've taken a different path from the regular path that other people have taken. So I think those are some very good reasons why students might consider GlobalNxt University.